What's good? Welcome to On the Block Sports Chiefs. What a way for Kansas City to end the regular season. Before we go any further, my name is Anthony, and you can go ahead and catch some of my articles at arrowheadaddict.com. And not only me, but there's a lot of great people who put out great content for you on the daily. So go ahead and check that out. And you can follow me personally at Anthony D. Hatton 2. You can see that on the screen, so definitely give me a follow as well. This is the post-game show, which means I'll talk to you about the hot and the not so hot. What is the good and what is the bad from this game for the Kansas City Chiefs? And I don't shy away from special teams, but mainly we will talk about offense and defense. Let's quickly hit on the big picture, though. Your Kansas City Chiefs are officially the number one seed in the AFC. So that means they have locked up that first round bye. We all know how Andy Reid gets down after that first round, or after the bye, rather. He's just great throughout his career. Um, he's only had, I believe, 2 losses in his career out of the bye week. So that is huge. And it's also big whenever you think about teams that make it to the Super Bowl. A lot of times, more often than not, they have that bye week. So the Chiefs, what we need to do now as Chiefs fans is root for the New England Patriots. Sounds crazy, but they play the Buffalo Bills. If the Bills lose, then it's the Arrowhead Invitational all the way through. Kansas City really needs to get the Bills L this week. As much as I hate to say it, because the team has dealt with a lot over the past week. But for the sake of being fans, we're going to go ahead and say Kansas City needs to get this AFC Championship game at home in Arrowhead. Let's move over to the offense just a little bit as well. So the Chiefs being the number one seed, it came in spectacular, record-breaking MVP fashion. The first thing on the offense we're going to talk about is Patrick Bleepin Mahomes. He's now breaking records, as he does always, every single year. It seems like every single week he's doing something to shatter the records. This time around, he's the all-time, for one single season, total yards achievement. He's topped everybody. Drew Brees had set the record with 5,562. Patrick Mahomes' total yards from this season was 5,570. His season stats, 41 passing touchdowns. No other quarterback is going to reach 40 unless Joe Burrow tosses, I think, 6 in his final game, which is extremely unlikely. Patrick Mahomes also has 4 rushing touchdowns, which gives him 45 touchdowns on the season. 5,250 passing yards, which is a new all-time high for the Kansas City Chiefs franchise. 67 completion percentage for Patrick Mahomes as well. For the game, it wasn't anything spectacular, but he was 18 for 26 for 202 yards, 1 touchdown with 0 interceptions. So he was out there just executing and not turning the ball over. And that's exactly what we need from the Kansas City Chiefs with our offense, and especially combined with the defense, how they were playing. Just don't turn the ball over, and you are going to win more often than not. Patrick Mahomes, what I noticed in this game, especially on the first drive, the Raiders knew it, and everybody could see it. Patrick was out there trying to go for the gusto. He hit Justin Watson for a big 67-yard pass and catch and run, and he was taking deep shots. Although he was accurate most of the day, he was still taking his shots. He was showing a lot of trust in his teammates, even if they weren't coming down with the 50-50 passes. He's going to pass it to the 3rd, 4th, 5th wide receiver. He's going to pass it to your 2nd and 3rd tight end and all your running backs. If you're on the field, Patrick Mahomes is definitely looking to get you the ball. If you have the mismatch, you're getting it. Number 2, what I will say for the Kansas City Chiefs offense, everybody's seen it. It was breaking Twitter. What about that spin cycle trick play? I've never seen that before. It was executed perfectly, with the exception of the holding penalty, which didn't even really change the Kadarius Toney touchdown. But without a doubt, Creed Humphrey was holding. I've never seen that before. I was slightly confused when it happens, and it makes me wonder, what does Andy Reid, what does Patrick Mahomes have in the vault? They probably have been cooking up some things, and I'm sure we'll see something coming up in the future. Number 3 for the offense, Kadarius Toney's involvement. I'm excited and I'm geeked up to see exactly how he is getting mixed in every single week. He's versatile. He's lethal from the backfield, from the wideout position, when he's in motion. He scored on that trick play, but I like that they went right back to him and got him the touchdown. He's elusive and he's also powering through the arm tackles. So that's something that whenever you're a little bit smaller in stature, you don't want to just go down. If you can make the first man miss, you can get an extra couple of yards, and teams are going to be frightened at what you can do. And it makes Andy Reid want to give you the ball even more. So, because we just talked about the hot, let's talk about the not so hot as well. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, his connection with Patrick Mahomes is shaky yet again. He caught only 3 of 6 targets for 27 yards, and he did get pass interference on that one play, but he's 6'4". You got to go up, high point the pass, and attack it. And with that being said, whenever you go up and try to get the ball, referees are going to give you the flag if the defenders are actually all on you and they see that you're making an effort to get through the contact. He just sits there and lets the ball come to him every single time. So that is something that, even though the ball hit him on the helmet, so it was an accurate pass, we know MVS, who I will now call Marquez Valdes-Scantling. MVS is a nickname, which you got to earn your nickname. This guy is physically gifted, but we just don't see him do those little things to max out on his physical gifts. Number 2, the not so hot. Isaiah Pacheco's usage, I know. They want to make sure that players are healthy going into the playoffs. But for the rookie running back, I want to see him get a little bit more work. 8 carries for 64 yards, so he was not ever really stopped. Health is most important, but just for the young rookie, I want to see him get over 100 yards on the last game of the regular season. Number 3, this is just a personal vendetta of my own. Each game this year, Max Crosby has done something a little bit extra. I want to see the Chiefs' offensive linemen give him the Jeffrey Simmons treatment. So you've seen Trey Smith just pancake and lay on top of Jeffrey Simmons when they played the Titans earlier this season. Somebody's got to go ahead and give Max Crosby the business, because set him down. He just always does something. When you're out here headbutting the quarterback, you're doing a little bit too much, and you're smack talking, and you guys catch L's every single time you play the Chiefs. Let's move over to the defense. What do I feel like was hot? Chris Jones is dominant the whole game. He had 6 quarterback hits that were recorded in the box score, 2.5 sacks. He was doubled all day, but yet he was still pushing the pocket and getting through offensive linemen. He helped George Karlaftis get his sack. Although they only credited George Karlaftis with half a sack, that was because Chris Jones pressured and made Jarrett Stidham move out of the pocket. Simply, Chris Jones just could not be blocked. He's currently tied for 3rd in the NFL with 15.5 sacks. He'll have more than Micah Parsons, who everybody says is the best defensive player somehow, some way. I've heard that, even though Nick Bosa is a better player at the position. But Micah Parsons, unless he has 3 sacks in his season finale, is not going to be having more than what Chris Jones does. And he's at a premier position for getting sacks. Chris Jones is leading all defensive tackles in sacks, and that's just ridiculous because there are some really good linemen, defensive tackles, and nose tackles in the NFL. Most importantly, though, what I think is Chris Jones' timing. You see him getting sacks on 3rd downs. You see him ending games with sacks. That is something that he's clutch. He's big time. You need that coming up for the playoffs. And I think he's also needing a contract, but that'll be something that we talk about in the offseason. Number 2, another record-breaking performance. Nick Bolton, he led the team in tackles not only for the day, but for the season, and he broke Derek Johnson's single-season tackles record. He has 180 combined on the year. Even Derek Johnson went out and sent my man Nick Bolton a congrats on Twitter. You see Nick Bolton flying around. He's doing it in the passing game, he's doing it in the running game. He's very much improved in the pass defense area. He's shorthanded, meaning that if he gets his hands on you, you're most likely going to go down. And he's not allowing any yards after catch. That was amazing. Now, what I really like is that you see him coming into his own as an aggressor. He has that mindset that whenever he's going to hit you, he's going to hit you. You're going to feel it. And don't be playing around by the sideline, because if you don't dart out of bounds, he's going to make sure you get out of bounds. That's something that you need. You need that attitude when you talk about making plays on defense. And the playoffs, which we talk about because this is the Kansas City Chiefs, you need somebody who's going to be that tone setter. Number 3 for the defense, what was really hot, the safeties. Justin Reed, Juan Thornhill, they are a wonderful tandem together. They're both playing well. Since the Cincinnati Bengals game, I've seen them both uptick in their performances. This game specifically, Justin Reed had 6 tackles, 1 sack, 2 pass deflections. Juan Thornhill had 7 tackles, 1 for loss, 1 pass deflection, 1 interception, which is his 3rd on the season. Now, Juan Thornhill is creating some headaches, I'm pretty sure, in the front office. Brett Veach is going to have his hands full with a decision to make, because I really like what he's been doing. I know he said he was going to try to be an all-pro before the season started. He has not quite lived up to that hype, but him, Justin Reed, Brian Cook, and the young corners, they all are gelling at the right time, and they look good. So let's go ahead and talk about the not so hot. It was hard for me to choose this on the defense, because I thought the defense played really well, from the coaching down to the players. What I will say, though, is that Colin Saunders, he had an opportunity to get a touchdown reception, even though it's not really a defensive play. It's a defensive player. He was in on the goal line play on offense as the tailback, and he sprinted out to the right, got to the end zone. I thought he was actually really fast. We all know Colin Saunders is one of the most athletic dudes, especially at his size, in the world. He had a touchdown opportunity, and Patrick Mahomes did not throw it up to him because there was a defender, but I really would have loved to see that opportunity. Will Colin Saunders moss somebody in his career? I don't know, but that was one opportunity for him that did not go his way. Number 2, Trent McDuffie. He had one of his more shaky games of the year, in my opinion. Of course, the Raiders were playing catch up, so they were going to pass the ball a lot. McDuffie allowed multiple catches in the second half, and he also gave up the only touchdown of the game to Hunter Renfrow, who is actually a really good athlete. And I know people have this white wide receiver stigma, whatever it is. Hunter Renfrow is a beast. Cooper Kupp is a beast. I think that stereotype is getting a little bit shattered. But with that being said, Trent McDuffie allowed multiple catches, and the only touchdown, it was the opportunity for the Chiefs to hold one team under 10 points in that single digits, and their defense wasn't able to do that. They did a good job, however, throughout the whole day, and he was making good tackles. He never really got badly beaten by anybody that I noticed. Number 3 for the defense, Joshua Williams. He's had his ups, he's had his downs. Joshua Williams, I just don't remember seeing him at all in this game. Where was he? I have no idea. So I'm gonna definitely have to go back and watch the replay. Um, Jalen Watson, I've seen him out there making some plays, but Joshua Williams, I don't remember him doing that. Now, I did say that I talk about special teams. I didn't find anything bad to really point out, but the good. Harrison Butker made his only field goal. Hallelujah. It was one attempt that he took for 44 yards, but it looked good. It was right down the middle. We all know the Chiefs' field goal unit, whether that's Tommy Townsend's holding the ball, a blocked field goal, Harrison Butker just not being healthy. Anything has happened, and The ball went through the uprights. I was happy to see that and relieved. Hopefully, that's something that can continue momentum going through this postseason. Number two, the consistent Tommy Townsend. This dude has a leg. 3 of his 4 punts were landing inside of the 20-yard line. He had a 61-yard punt, and he averaged 49 yards. So you're getting somebody, Tommy Townsend, who has the hair, he's got the swag, he did the celebration dance, and I think it's something that the Chiefs just are very I don't want to say we take them for granted, but we're very grateful just to have a Tommy Townsend on this team. Final thoughts. I know I didn't mention it, but Jerick McKinnon with another touchdown reception. He has been awesome, especially since Clyde Edwards-Helaire has went out. Uh, this latter part of the season, Jerick McKinnon now has 10 total touchdowns on the season, 9 of those being receiving touchdowns. So Patrick Mahomes definitely leans on him. He's the top outlet on the team. And he's trusted, which is great because he can do it in pass blocking, which sets up a lot of his screens. Jerick McKinnon is that dude. Another thing that I want to say, the defensive line as a whole, that unit, George Karlaftis, he's doing a really good job at blossoming at the right time. Within the last 7 games is where he's gotten almost all of his sacks and his 2 fumble recoveries. You also have Mike Dana, who's out there forcing fumbles and getting to the quarterback. I think he had 2 sacks on the day, and that was just amazing to see. Let's talk about the defense a little bit more here, though, because they did a great job. They held Josh Jacobs and they held Davante Adams to no touchdowns, and they actually held him in check. So let me see here really quick. Josh Jacobs has 17 rushes for 46 yards, which is an average of 2.6 yards per carry. How great of a job you did against one of the better running backs in the NFL, who's been tearing the league up, and he actually got the better of Kansas City in week 5, I believe that was, when they played in Kansas City. Davante Adams, 5 receptions for 73 yards, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL as well. The superstars were held in check, and I think that was something that needed to happen for this Chiefs defense to put up a solid performance and even for the Chiefs to win. So the best this defense has looked in a while happened at the right time. They're trending in the right direction. You need that going against top tier teams in the NFL. I mean, you might not be able to stop a Joe Burrow or a Josh Allen, or even Trevor Lawrence, but you can definitely make plays against them, and the defense is doing the right thing right now. AFC, the first seed is Kansas City's. They have a bye week, and that means they have home field advantage, especially with the Patriots getting a win over the Buffalo Bills. That neutral site AFC Championship game crap goes out the window. So mainly right now, the Chiefs, they just need to get healthy. Joe Tooney, let's go ahead and let him rest up a little bit for a week. He is on the field, and I think he's going to be that dude as he always has been since he's been in Kansas City. McCall Hardman, I know he was inactive, but he's definitely got a role, and teams haven't really been able to see him play in this offense, at least not too extensively, which means that he's going to come out. Andy Reid's already game planning and got him doing some things, I'm pretty sure, in the playbook. So Eric Bieniemy, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes are going to be happy to have a McCall Hardman and his talent mixed in with the Kadarius Toney, and the Chiefs offense can go every direction at any time. Thanks for watching On the Block Sports Chiefs. This has been the post-game show. Tell me what you all think about the Kansas City Chiefs season and also the last regular season game against the Raiders. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.